from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
It's Pro Time Nebraska. The Omaha Supernovas, your Major League Volleyball team, is playing in the first ever Pro Volleyball Federation match on January 24th against the Atlanta Vibe at the CHI Health Center. Be a part of history and visit supernovas.com to secure your single match tickets today.
Hey guys, Jake Sorensen here from Early Break. The garage door at our house has been needing replacement for a couple years, and a few months ago, we finally did something about it. Steve's Garage Doors and Services was great through the whole process in providing options and also going to the next level to get a door that was approved by our HOA. And best of all, the removal of the old door and installation of the new door was done smoothly with no issues. Call Steve's Garage Doors and Services today at 402-480-2840.
Attention all Wings fans. 89-cent wings are back on Tuesdays at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Lincoln. Enjoy the best wings in town for boneless or traditional at a price that makes the whole family happy. And now at the Williamsburg Village Wings and Rings, you can enjoy $1.50 tall boys in Bud Light, Coors Light, Busch Light, and Michelob Ultra every day after 7 p.m. and all day on Sundays. Get to Wings and Rings today and make sure to stop by on Tuesdays for 89-cent wings.
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Golfing in 72 degrees and perfect conditions in Nebraska doesn't seem possible in the winter, but it is. Double Eagle Golf is your escape from the bone-chilling cold outside and a reason to keep your clubs out year-round. Book a bay with some friends for a weekend or come by for golf and happy hour on a weekday. Spring leagues begin in February. Get signed up today. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex at West O Street. Online at doubleeagle.golf.
This is the Happy Hour.
You guys going to happy hour?
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America.
Yeah, I'll come for a couple.
Here are your hosts, Nick Sainert.
I want to know what it's like to commit a crime without having to spend time in jail.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
C is for chunk.
Brought to you by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is Happy Hour. Thanks for joining us here on 93.7 The Ticket. I am Jake Bockovin, along with Erick Strickland. A little bit of a different, we're jumping different seats here as you're taking over Happy Hour a little bit, but in exchange, you will not be on the block this afternoon.
Yes, will not be on the block this afternoon. It's a weekend of celebration.
Absolutely.
So I popped over and had a nice little meet and greet watched the little bit of the practice, the little shoot around that the Huskers were having in preparation for the Northwestern game tomorrow at 1:15, I believe, at Pinnacle Bank, and got a chance to see some old Husker faithful friends, ex-coaches. Larry Florence was in the building. It was a blessing to see him. Shout out to Larry Florence, one of my teammates. He spent time and played with Teron Lou, and he was also with us in my senior year. But Larry's dealing with multiple myeloma cancer, so for him to be able to come and to make it, fighting the good fight, it's keep him in your thoughts and prayers. But he made it, and it's just a tribute to his strength. And it was good to see him and hug his neck and see some old players from the years just before me and some years after. So it was good.
Yeah, that's good. And we'll obviously want to hear plenty more about that throughout the show, throughout the day. It is a big day of celebration for that Big 8 tournament championship. You guys were able to bring back of course, Nebraska basketball currently needs to get back into the win column, so that will be interesting as well. I just want to start off the show by saying, though, we might be seeing the last of Sports Illustrated. In fact, they laid off their entire staff today. This might not have a whole lot to do with what you would think it is, which is maybe similar to Blockbuster. They just haven't adjusted right with the times and, holding newspapers and magazines. We've seen the newspaper industry take quite a bit of a hit, magazines as well. This is apparently a problem between a payment, a big payment, $3.75 million payment between their license holder, the Arena Group, and Authentic, which is leading their deal. So, I mean, just stuff above, I suppose, or beyond the Sports Illustrated problems that we kind of can see already. But it'd be a bit of a different world. Bit of a different world with that. Yeah, it's a sad day. It's obviously frustrating for a lot of people that work there. They've had articles written by AI and stuff like that here in the past several months pop up, and it just seems like Sports Illustrated's barely hanging on. And if they are now, obviously with all these layoffs, it might just be the end. And so, as I kind of think back, I mean, at one time that was the pinnacle, of maybe other than being on the Wheaties box, was being on the cover of Sports Illustrated. What are your kind of favorite memories of Sports Illustrated?
I mean, there's a few of them. Obviously, I think one of them being that Johnny Rogers had popped on WTF last night. If you didn't get a chance to see that, go check it out. One of the things that we were talking about with him last night on WTF from 6 to 7 on Thursday was Johnny got a chance to be a Heisman Trophy winner. So we brought up the case regarding Reggie Bush and how he'd been stripped. How at Michigan that they've done something that was unique and beautiful and that they returned and restored unto them, being that NIL has now come to the forefront, and they put their banners back up in the rafters. And so that's one of the things that they haven't done at this point, and that's give Reggie Bush his Heisman Trophy back. So Johnny, we kind of talked to him about that and some other things about Husker football, and it was a really good segment. So that's one of the ones that I remember. Johnny Rogers, his 72-yard punt return that starts the scoring of the game of the century between Nebraska and Oklahoma. That's one of the moments that I do remember vaguely. I would say another one would be definitely the last second shot from Christian Laettner. Against with Duke against I think it was Kentucky.
Kentucky, right?
Yeah, it was against Kentucky. That was one that stuck in my mind. The Buster Douglas upset of Mike Tyson. That was huge because walking into that ring, no one gave him a hunter's chance of hitting the big buck at point blank range. Like you could have had the biggest shotgun or the biggest gun and had a shot at it at point blank. They didn't give him a chance. But he hit. That would be one that I would also speak of. And lastly, I think one that speaks to me is, well, two. The Thriller in Manila with Joe Frazier and Muhammad Ali in the fight in Africa. And I'm sorry, in was it the Philippines? I think it was the Philippines.
Yeah, Thriller in Manila?
Yeah, in the Philippines.
There you go.
Your spot.
That's right.
And that was Joe Frazier. He fought big who has the little cooking things?
Oh yeah. George Foreman. Yeah.
That was Africa. But no, the Thriller in Manila was a big Joe Frazier. That was a big one, as well as I would say the Tiger Woods becoming the youngest Masters champion as he went 18 under in 1997. That was like right when I was coming out of college. So that was a big one too.
Yeah, it's interesting. There's so many, and what you're really saying is basically was the exciting part of whether your team had a moment and it was just big locally, and then you went, and if you saw it on the cover of Sports Illustrated, it's like, man,
you knew it was huge.
This is us. I mean, we are the talking point in the country. And of course, it's been a while since Nebraska's been in that position, but they were. I mean, that's where Nebraska was often, and you wondered how much is this resonating nationally, and that was the deal. I mean, because there's obviously a lot of weeks where there's so much going on in sports that the publishers had to make the decision, and it was just such a big deal. And then I kind of go through my other thoughts about Sports Illustrated. They had Sports Illustrated for kids. When I was a kid, they had like cards. You could, once you get it, it'd be like trading cards, but they'd be cheap and, they could rip apart easily, but I still collected them. I was very excited to get them. Right. And then, obviously the Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition. That's still a big one. I still see that one quite often on stands.
Used to wait. Yeah. I was one of those guys, Bach, that in my high school, room, I'd have all the Jet magazines and the Sports Illustrated.
Yep.
I had all the finest of the finest just to,
Yeah.
Young man, little feisty.
That's right. Yeah.
It was my American Pie moments.
Yeah.
What I mean?
Yeah. That was the era.
That time back in band camp.
Yeah, absolutely. I had a Sports Illustrated poster, a poster, yes, but also a calendar as well. So I mean, there's a lot of different.
You were
options.
big time, Bob.
Yeah, every month. They're don't just wait for the edition to come out. But but that's part of it. I mean, Sports Illustrated just had so many moments. And then the other thing that I always kind of think of, and I thought it was one of the more fun parts of this game series, actually, which is coming back, which is NCAA football through EA Sports. They would basically, I think it was 06, might have been a few different editions there, but they would have it so when you're playing your game in franchise mode, and if you had a big win, they'd put you on the cover, but you'd have to compete for it because it would always be the biggest game of the week, even in the simulated, would be in there. And so it's just always been something a big deal to be on the cover of Sports Illustrated. And I think that's probably gone away quite a bit. I mean, I haven't reached for a Sports Illustrated. Sometimes I'll still see them like at a doctor's office or something. But I couldn't tell you who's on the cover of the most recent Sports Illustrated. And again, that's just kind of the movement of the times. Again, newspaper industry struggling. Anything that's used to be you had to get your hands on it. Now you can go online and read it, and then forget about it. Go read something else. And go through all these different publications. But
think about that, Bach. Like, think about when we were, you're younger than me significantly, but when you used to go to the dentist office, or you used to go to the doctor's office, or you had a meeting or something, and they had all these little magazines there. It's like you said, you would go in there, sit down, and, kind of peruse through it a little bit and see what was going on and what's popping. And you regularly did that. But now think about how it is, everybody, how much things have changed. When you go in now, you sit down, there's still some magazines, some little newspapers every now and then, but everybody's on this thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where you're at these days. You got everything you need right here on the phone. And so it's changed the whole dynamic of how
do you
things
compete
are.
with it? When you publish a magazine, it's 7 days old by the time somebody, it even gets to you. And anything on your phone, that's right now. It's happening right now. So it's hard. And I do think that maybe, Sports Illustrated was never going to return to what it maybe was at one time. It had to pivot its direction. Again, it's not officially done. They just laid off everybody. So that's not great news. But it seems to be a bit of a quabble between companies that deal with publishing it and such above. But
here's the thing: do you keep it? Like, do you do like you do with the old baseball cards, and you just keep them? Remember how? Just think about like back in the day when we were young, and we used to have comic books, right? You had all the greatest of comic books, from Marvel or DC or whatever the case may be, Spider-Man, whatever, you name it. People collected those, and just think about what they're worth now.
Yeah.
Think about like the Beanie Babies.
Oh yeah.
They're they're going for big money.
Yeah.
Right. And then people still kept like in the boxes, Voltron or all these little things. And there's some like, is it worth it for you now to keep your Sports Illustrated best moments and then hold on to them until they seem like they're about to fall apart, but somebody's gonna want it?
Well, for one, you better keep it in good condition.
Keep it in good condition.
Yeah, but
laminated or something.
Yeah, but like the Nebraska title ones, like you see those everywhere, and you feel like if you hold on to them long enough, they'll be worth something. But I don't know. Sometimes I'll go to Goodwill or something. I'll see like a few sitting on a stack, so they might not be worth something yet. But hopefully down the line, I've always thought I kept a few of them from different moments. And then I thought it's just interesting to like 10 years later, go back and look and read through the different thoughts. Because obviously they go through a lot of different sports, a lot of different commentary about what's going on at the time. And so, it's just kind of funny. You go back and look at, I don't know, something about Derrick Rose going to take over the NBA. And you're like, well, that didn't happen exactly. If only they knew what I knew.
Yeah. Yeah. You were like in the movie Back to the Future, if you remember. Remember in Back to the Future, he had the almanac. Thing?
That's right. Yeah.
And then he was able to tell and win all the money because he knew all the lottery numbers.
Yes.
That's what you are, Bock.
That's what I want to be. All right, let's take a quick
Biff.
break. I'm Biff. Bock and Biff. That sounds about right. Yeah. Let's take a quick break here as we got to catch up on breaks. But when we come back, like we were saying, big weekend in Husker basketball. We'll preview that a little bit and just talk about what a magical run it was. Erick Strickland was there and helped lead Nebraska to a Big 8 tourney title under Coach Danny Nee. We're celebrating the 93-94 team this weekend. So let's celebrate a little bit here next on Happy Hour 93.7 The Ticket.
Follow Nick and Enrique on Twitter at Nick_Sainert and at Radio Rico AC. More of Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Make the 2024 deer season your best yet. Come to the Nebraska Deer and Game Expo Friday, January 19th through Sunday, January 21st. Check out the hunting seminars, browse the hunting and outdoor exhibits, sign up for the Dylan Blind giveaway, compete in the Big Buck and Monster Shed contest, and try the 3D shoot and more. Buy your tickets at the door. The Nebraska Deer and Game Expo, January 19th through 21st at the Sand Hills Global Event Center in Lincoln. 84th and Havelock, presented by Whitetail Properties Real Estate.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 North 27th Street. From top-shelf liquor to crowd-favorite beer, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 North 27th Street.
Golfing in 72 degrees and perfect conditions in Nebraska doesn't seem possible in the winter, but it is. Double Eagle Golf is your escape from the bone-chilling cold outside and a reason to keep your clubs out year-round. Book a bay with some friends for a weekend or come by for golf and happy hour on a weekday. Spring leagues begin in February. Get signed up today. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex at West O Street. Online at doubleeagle.golf.
Prashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Hey guys, Jake Sorensen here from Early Break. The garage door at our house has been needing replacement for a couple years, and a few months ago, we finally did something about it. Steve's Garage Doors and Services was great through the whole process in providing options and also going to the next level to get a door that was approved by our HOA. And best of all, the removal of the old door and installation of the new door was done smoothly with no issues. Call Steve's Garage Doors and Services today at 402-480-2840. Hey guys, Jake Sorensen here from Early Break. The garage door at our house has been needing replacement for a couple years, and a few months ago, we finally did something about it. Steve's Garage Doors and Services was great through the whole process in providing options and also going to the next level to get a door that was approved by our HOA. And best of all, the removal of the old door and installation of the new door was done smoothly with no issues. Call Steve's Garage Doors and Services today at 402-480-2840.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
It's Pro Time Nebraska. The Omaha Supernovas, your Major League Volleyball team, is playing in the first ever Pro Volleyball Federation match on January 24th against the Atlanta Vibe at the CHI Health Center. Be a part of history and visit supernovas.com to secure your single match tickets today.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppell Chevrolet GMC. We'd like to say thank you for a record-setting 2023. So let's start off 2024 with the bang. They've got huge trade-in bonuses and finance bonusing happening right now on our new inventory at Coppell. Get up to $8,500 off select new models at Coppell. So if you're shopping for a new GM product, go to our website at coppellcars.com. You won't believe the discounts. Make that short money-saving drive down 144th Street. You'll be glad you did. Must have trade and finance with roof credit. Stock number G2076684.
Southeast Community College invites you to check out our spaces ahead of your official campus visit. Our virtual campus tours let you see our campuses and learn more about our programs of study. Then you can schedule your individual visit in person or virtually. Virtual tours of our campuses in Beatrice, Lincoln, or Milford, and our learning centers are online at southeast.edu/visit SCC. SCC, your path to possible.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe. You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez-Clary.
This isn't the real Caesar's Palace, is it?
What do you mean?
Did Caesar live here?
No.
I didn't think so.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Shout out to the mill. Hey. Shout out to the mill.
There you go.
I got a cup of Joe. I'm feeling real feisty. Yeah. We ready, Bob?
We're ready. We are rolling here on Happy Hour. I'm Jake Bachman. He is Erick Strickland. We are your fill-in host today for Nick Sainert, who will be back next week, and Enrique Alvarez-Clary, who has just basically swapped shows there with you, Strick, for today, as he's going to do On the Block with Austin.
T-Bird swap.
Yeah, and they're going to do that live from CHI Center as the Omaha Supernovas.
Supernovas are getting busy.
Practice. Yeah. So that'll be interesting.
Yeah, it's listen, I hadn't had a chance to really go over to a volleyball game, and I watch them now. I do watch them. I just hadn't got a chance to go in that atmosphere. But being that I live in Omaha, I'm really interested, Bach, in going over and seeing what professional volleyball is like.
Yeah.
Like, what's that going to be like? I'm excited to kind of see.
Yeah, I'm really intrigued by
it. It's like a new club that opens.
Yeah. Nebraska, or excuse me, by the way, 93.7 The Ticket is going to be the flagship station for your Omaha Supernovas. So that will be exciting. DP is going to be on the call, and Rico's going to be moving around as the producer there. So they're going to go to home and away games. They got a lot of traveling ahead of them. It's very cool. Obviously, the Pro Volleyball Federation, it's something new. It's exciting. They have 7 teams this year. They're going to add 3 franchises coming up in the next season. And from what I've been told, they are really good. Like, college volleyball, we know here in Nebraska, as we watch our own women's volleyball team, basically the pinnacle of the sport. What I've heard, these girls even amp it up a little level from that. So,
because you're talking about pros.
It's pro. This is not semi-pro.
This ain't semi-pro.
This is pros. These are the top girls in the profession. So
these are the ones that you see when you see international volleyball stuff like Cuba and Venezuela.
Oh, yeah.
And when you see Italy and Spain, they are serious about this. In Brazil, Puerto Rico, they real.
So I'm excited to see that, and of course that will be next Wednesday is when they will do the first match. So that'll be exciting both here at 93.7 The Ticket and in Nebraska. Another reason to be excited is that Nebraska basketball will get back to action. And apologies to anybody viewing on our Starter Heyman Jewelers stream. There seems to be a ghost in the studio moving my camera around. It's fine. You might not see my face, but you can see some other stuff on our desk. I'll try to keep messing with it, but it seems to have gone.
We've got haunted. It's a haunted session going on.
It's got its own mind right now, and that's fine, I suppose. I don't know.
Oh, they don't like you, Bach. Like the ghost is like, I do not like Bach. Do not show him at all.
I don't know. It must
be. Let's focus on Stricky.
We're just gonna focus on Stricky there.
That's crazy.
One of the cameras has gone haywire, so we'll work on that as well.
Camera's gone wild.
Yeah, that's right. But what I was gonna say is that Nebraska basketball will be celebrating the 93-94 Nebraska team, which was a Big 8 tournament champs, went to the NCAA tournament under 8th-year head coach Danny Nee at the time, finished 20-10 and 7-7 in Big 8 play, but once again was able to win that Big 8 tournament. And fortunately for us, Strick, you were a part of that team.
I want to see Bock.
Yeah, I'll get
a wide view. Yeah, back out. We want to see Bock. There we are. What's up, man?
Hey, you can see me hanging out on the screen.
93-94. Talk to me.
Yeah, so you were a sophomore on this team.
Young fella.
Yeah, and so just kind of let me know. I know when you committed to Nebraska, you'd said before they're like a top 10, top 15 team. So it's a bit of a different mindset than I think we think of now for Nebraska basketball. But specifically going into this season, your sophomore year, what was kind of the expectation? And it should be noted, like, who were the top of the league? And I know I'm saying that because Missouri was really good at the time.
Yeah, that team that year, Missouri, I think went 13-0. They had like Doug Smith, I think, and Melvin Booker, which is the young Booker, Devin Booker's dad.
Is he really? Okay.
Yeah, Devin Booker's dad was on that team, and I think Kelly Thames, and he was a young fella, freshman on the team at the time, and they were good. They were good, but we were upset because we felt we beat them down in Missouri. Like, we had the game. It wasn't one like the Nebraska game against Rutgers or nothing like it. It's you're playing the number 2 team in the world. I think they might have been even number 1 at the time, number 1 or 2, and you're playing them and their home building, and you're giving it to them. And it was late in the game. I think it was a 1-possession game at the time. We were down 1. And it was probably, I want to say, maybe 15 seconds, something like that. It was late. And they forced Melvin Booker to me on the side. He had nowhere to go. I cut him off, took a charge. The referee, so if you're in refereeing or you're not, there's 3 referees in the game. There's the lead referee, which is the one that's in the backcourt with when you take the ball out, that's the lead. The center referee is the one in the middle of the court, usually at half court, and he's usually kind of lifted a little bit. And then there's the lead referee, which is the one, there's trail. So that was the trail, center, and then the lead is the guy that's in the front court waiting for everybody to come to him. Okay. The center referee right in front of us calls charge. Our ball down 1 with like 10 seconds or so, or 12 seconds to go, right? The other referee way back on the other side calls block. So we have a block charge situation. So then they have to go, I think they went to the
monitor?
They went to the alternated possession.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They get the ball back. Now we have to foul. We foul them. They make the free throws. Pike throws up like a 30-footer, and it goes toilet bowl. Goes in and pops out. We lose. That was one of the first time I saw Danny Nee go crazy. Danny Nee went to the referee's locker room and banged on the door and was gonna go at him. Like he was upset. And we were too, because we were there yelling. He's like, yeah, y'all stole it. We was going nuts. So it pissed us off. We were really upset. So we go into the Big 8 tournament shortly after. We ran off, I think, 5 out of 6. It would have been 6 out of 6, but we ended up 5 out of 6 because we lost that game. So we ran off a string of games. Go to the tournament. Oklahoma was in our way. We're like, we feel bad for you, Oklahoma, today, baby, because the Sooners got to go boomer down. Like, we're giving you the business. We beat them by almost like 30.
Yeah, the 105 you got put on.
Yeah, we ran them out the gym, like literally, because we knew that if we ran them out of the gym, we probably are going to get a look at Missouri. We wanted that badly. And then we got Missouri and gave Missouri the business and ultimately had to face that Oklahoma State team.
Yeah. Was that, if you kind of think back, because there's also a very memorable, to start that kind of run, that hot run that you guys were on, you beat Kansas in the Bob Devaney Sports Center 96-87. What game kind of stands out to you most among that season? Is it that Missouri one because it was the revenge factor a little bit to you?
Well, that Kansas one was off the chain.
Yeah.
And here's why, because Dickie V was in the building.
That's right.
So it's a PT beer, baby. It's mayhem in here. Oh my God. He was going nuts.
Yeah.
And it was fun because it was that excitement that we got, to experience with Dickie V also being in the building. It was a great game.
Yeah, that's awesome. Let me ask you too, because you were going into your sophomore year, just kind of team dynamics. What was your expectations as far as the role going into the year? And then what did your role become? Did it change, or was it about, what you thought?
Well, I was coming off being freshman of the year and in the Big 8. And so very confident, but knew that I would start periodically. If you check that, find, how many games did I start? It was like, for me, starting was based on matchup. It was based on kind of who we were probably going to play, or if coach wanted me to match up. But mostly I was a 6-man coming off the bench. So I knew that Pike was the guy. We all knew that. He was going to be first team all Big 8. He was returning. So I already knew my role. My role was to come in, change the tempo, get after whoever defensively, hound them, pressure them, and make my guys behind me want to follow the lead. And so I knew what my role was. I understood it was very similar to how CJ Wilcher probably feels right now, except I could defend a little bit better.
Yeah, interesting stuff, because it's also, you have to keep in mind, again, it's just weird to kind of think about this in the times that you played, where the expectation was quite a bit higher than what it is now, which is, my God, please make an NCAA tournament. Nebraska fans want to see it. Whereas at that year, I believe you had come off a few NCAA tournament appearances. So it was just kind of moving it up. Without that run, did you guys feel pretty comfortable in the Big 8 tournament as far as making the tournament?
We were, I think I want to say we were either 8-6 or 7-7, because that's why we needed to make that run, because we knew we needed to make a run, and that's why we were really upset, because we knew that a win on the road against Missouri would have locked us. We knew it was a lock. So we didn't feel sure. And that's why we said we need to go in here and get a couple. That was really our mindset. We felt that if we can go into the Big 8 tournament, that's why I think we're really, really focused. But outside of the revenge factor, we're really focused on getting a couple, because we knew that getting a couple in the Big 8 tournament would solidify us to get in.
It's fascinating having this conversation with somebody that was on the team. I know for a lot of fans out there that were part of sitting in the crowd, I love to hear their stories. Whenever I mentioned that I know Erick Strickland, I get all the stories about what people were doing at the time you were playing. So it's kind of fun to reminisce.
Did you hear the story about the aftermath of when we won? Did I ever share that with you?
I don't think so. Which of the Big 8 tournament?
Yeah. So after the Big 8 tournament, it was just so much excitement, and we were ecstatic. The ride home was just joyous, and everybody was just feeling really good. We were on a big high. So we're coming out of Kansas, and literally when we crossed the border of the Kansas-Nebraska border, there were cars on both sides, literally lined dang near all the way back to,
oh my goodness,
to Lincoln,
celebrating the win.
And they were holding up placards and, yeah, go Big Red, congratulations, yay, Big 10 tournament champ. It was all these, people were beeping and just doing all of that.
Yeah.
And I can't remember when the escort came, but then the police came and escorted us all the way back home at some point. Now, I don't think it was right from the border, but I do know it could have been from Beatrice or somewhere. At some point, they came and took over, and they literally led us all the way with lights and led us back to Devaney.
Like a whole parade.
Yeah, man. And this is this is after the win, because we came home. It wasn't like we stayed the night.
Yeah.
This was all it wasn't a pre-planned thing.
Yeah.
It was all on the whim. This is how great Nebraska fans are. People will never fully understand unless you've been there. And when we get back to Devaney and we come into the building, the Vanny's almost full. Like there's at the top sparsely just a few, but it was full, and it was just a big celebration. They had put up stages and everything just on the whim, and it turned out to be just a wonderful event.
Yeah.
And then the aftermath. A lot of people don't know this. I hope I can get Danny in here because we're going to have a couple of guests. I've talked to a couple of guys down when we went to the Pinnacle Bank Arena for practice. So I'll probably have some guys, a couple of guys from the time just before me, that top 10 team, probably Carl Hayes and Tony Farmer. Now, I'm going to tell you something. Listeners, if you don't know, if Tony Farmer would have stayed, we could have probably went to the final, like the Elite Eight. Like, that's how good Tony Farmer was. To at the 4 position at that time, with his athleticism and his he was like a gazelle, and he could shoot the 3 at the 4 position.
Yeah.
Whew, if we would have had him, like if he would have stayed, that could have been a dangerous team for sure.
Lots of fun stuff to reminisce on. And like you said, a couple of those guys going to
join.
Coach
Morgan will probably come.
Oh, sweet. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll join a little bit later. I'm going to actually fill in as well a little bit this afternoon. Once again, we just got a busy afternoon coming up on the block. We'll be live from the CHI Center and many of the Omaha Supernovas. Hopefully we can talk to a few of them. And then, like we were just saying now, after that will be old school. Jay's going to jump in with myself. Well, I shouldn't say I'm jumping in with Jay because it's Jay's show, but you as well, Strick, are going to come in here and bring us some of your former teammates, maybe an ex-coach. So a lot of fun still coming up on 93.7 The Ticket. We got one more segment of Happy Hour coming up next year on 93.7.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and we'd like to say thank you for a record-setting 2023. So let's start off 2024 with the bang. They've got huge trade-in bonuses and finance bonusing happening right now on our new inventory at Koppel. Get up to $8,500 off select new models at Koppel. So if you're shopping for a new GM product, go to our website at koppelcars.com. You won't believe the discounts. Make that short money-saving drive down 144th Street. You'll be glad you did. Must have trade and finance with roof credit. Stock number G20768.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstoRats.com for amazing offers, and if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Don't allow uninvited guests to take over your home. Trust Bats to Rats for a peaceful and rodent-free living space.
If your home isn't delivering the year-round comfort you expect, call the experts at Bryant. Warm and cool, comfort and confidence. Bryant Air Conditioning and Heating. Call 467-1111.
In every office, there's 2 types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
Next weekend, the Lincoln Stars welcome the Sioux Falls Stampede to the Icebox for the first time this season. Don't miss Princess Night on Saturday, January 20th at 6:05 p.m. Get 4 tickets and 2 tiaras and a Princess Night pack for $75 now at LincolnStars.com. Secure your seats for the Stars versus the Stampede next weekend.
Problem gambling is not just a financial issue. It's an emotional problem with financial consequences. If your loved one is struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's 24-hour helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 402-476-2300.
You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert.
I vomited last night.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
I literally vomited. I threw up.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
the Ticket. This is Happy Hour. And final segment, as we said, very busy afternoon here. So hostess are kind of switching positions and chairs and stuff like that. But it's working out for us so far, I think.
Yeah, I think the ghost kind of, left you alone a little bit.
Yeah, he did a little bit. I'm gonna see if I can get this camera to work a little bit for me. But it was attacking earlier. But
the ghost of 93.7 The Ticket.
Yeah.
Boy, he just came in. Casper, he over there waving right now. I see him right behind you.
He's making jokes on me right now. Very good stuff. Did you see, by the way, I did want to ask you this as a basketball guy. Anthony Edwards in game alley-oop off the backboard to himself. Well, how do you feel as a player seeing that? I mean, it's because you got to have. We see it in all-star games, from time to time, and occasionally during an actual game. You just kind of wonder what goes through someone's minds because he had the opening and he was kind of off balance. He could have just tried the shot, but instead he said, "No, I'm backboarding this one" because he saw a free lane.
Listen, I think it's really creative to be able to process that in your mind that this is an opportunity to use this legally in the game. It's a legal move. Yeah. And you've seen Kobe do it. You've seen others do it where they just throw it off the glass and go get it because maybe they're caught in the air. They got nowhere to go. People fan out. So, you fanning out? Okay, let me go toss and go get. Similar to throwing it off the butt of a player when you're taking it on an inbound play. So I think it's pretty cool, but to be processing, it takes high level processing in your mind to not get there, get nervous, get stuck. But that's what a pro mindset sometimes are.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I cannot dunk myself, but I did that in a game. I was very proud of myself but mine was like forced because, like you're saying, I got stuck in the air. I jumped when I shouldn't have and nowhere to go with the ball. And I was like, all right, well, I'm just throwing it off the rim, off the backboard then. So it's very kind of cool to see that. Did you ever get an opportunity or ever thought about doing that? I don't think that's something you go into a game thinking I'm going to do. It just kind of opened up for me.
Yeah, and like the stuff that kids do, like what blows my mind is we would have never in any form or fashion thought to do some of the stuff that some of these kids are doing in game.
Yeah.
Between the legs, dunking, twirling in the air. No, people did it some.
And to be fair, now you can take 3 steps and the rest won't call
it.
So
there's a lot of creativity you can do.
Yeah.
That. Super Euro steps, Euro stops to step. I mean, it's all kinds of stuff now that they've been creative in figuring out. There's a guy on Instagram that I've seen and he does these wild creative shots that are non-travels, but there are these one foot crazy 2 steps with a spin. He does a lot of them. And I don't know if kids are watching that foolishness, but I hope they're not because it's one of those things that we would have never thought to do. We were just so fundamental and we just felt, okay, get to a spot, rise, get to a spot, shot, fake, step through, get to a fake, half spin, shot, fake, fade away. I mean, it was just basic fundamental stuff that we did. Now these kids are doing all kinds of crazy stuff between the legs, throwing in 6th grade, 5th grade, they're doing all the crazy stuff. Yeah.
Well, and you that's like something you can do. And if you do it, you get away with it. It's one of those, no, okay, I guess type of situations from the coach. But if you miss it, then
come see me.
Yeah, you're not going to be playing the rest.
Yeah,
of the
so it's a high risk. It's a high risk, basic reward because it's still 2 points.
Right.
But if you miss it, like you said, then there's a penalty that could be applied to that.
But the reward is you get people
get on ESPN,
Instagram, like you said,
Instagram viral.
Us are talking, people are talking about that. So I don't know. I just don't see it very often in game, but maybe we'll see for the future generation if we see a little bit more of that. Quickly too, I know we talked a lot about that 93-94 team. How about this year's team against Northwestern? Obviously coming off a frustrating road loss to Iowa, but then the Rutgers game, which that's going to be a hard one to get over. What do you think kind of is in the mind space for these kids? Or in I guess the bigger question is all whatever is going on in their minds now, is that going to be able to be tabled pretty quickly when you got that home environment? Because every team's better at home, but Nebraska especially obviously plays with a lot more energy. Things just seem to be working a lot better at Pinnacle Bank.
Let me tell you this. That was a long flight.
Mhm.
Like, you try to possibly sleep that off of you on the way home, but that's a long flight to, think that through, process it. And if I was Fred, I'd have him watching film. Like, I'd be like, no, you can't go to sleep until you guys watch, you guys collapse once again.
Yeah.
And 2 12-point leads, man, it's like, golly, bro. Like, it hurts, but you hope that they can bounce back. Don't give up one at home. Just don't do that. Like, okay, attribute it to a loss on the road. Okay, you fell short. Take the loss on the road. Don't give it up at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's going to be all season, is protect home court, try to steal a few on the road, and hopefully, those we'll see. I mean, I don't know what Rutgers will finish. I think they're a solid team, but those bad losses can hurt you just as much as good wins help you at times. So we'll kind of see as this resume gets going. But again, still a good team, 13-5, and we'll see what happens with tomorrow. The mood in Nebraska basketball, as usual, can change and turn on a pendulum pretty quickly. But that'll wrap it up for Happy Hour here on 93.7 The Ticket. Stay tuned. Once again, on the block coming up next from the CHI Center in Omaha. That's coming up next here on 93.7 The
Ticket. Introducing The Outlet by Sartor Heyman. The Outlet brings you luxurious Sartor Heyman quality jewelry at unbeatable prices. Shop our expansive inventory of over